Hello students, welcome to the class. Today we will learn about defects or imperfections in solids. So first of all, what is a defect? Defect or imperfection means deviation from the ordered arrangement. So it means any deviation from the ordered arrangement of constituent particles is called defect. Ordered arrangement or perfect arrangement, any deviation. For example, if one constituent particle is missing from its lattice site, or one line or one row of constituent particles is not where actually it should be, then these are called as defects. It means irregularity in the arrangement of constituent particles. Defects are inevitable. Defects are inevitable means defects are unavoidable. We cannot avoid these defects. So defects occur whether the crystallization process is fast, moderate or slow. Slow crystallization, it gives single crystals, and otherwise large number of small crystals are obtained. Any solid, it exists as aggregate of small crystals. So it exists as aggregates of small crystals. But if the crystallization process is slow, then we can get one single crystal. Otherwise, we will get aggregates of small crystals. And role of temperature in this defect is that as the temperature increases, number of defect is also increases. So I again summarize this. So defects are inevitable, they are unavoidable. Whether the crystallization process is fast or slow or moderate, we will get defects. This is unavoidable. And when the crystallization process is slow, then we get single crystals. And otherwise, if the crystallization process is very fast or moderate, then we will get aggregates of small crystals. And role of temperature in defect is that as the temperature increases, we will get more number of defects. So as the temperature increases, as the third law of thermodynamics says, the possibility of getting a crystal, possibility of getting defects in a crystal increases. Then moving to types. They are mainly point defects, and then we will have line defects. So there are two types. First one is the point defect and second one is the line defect. Point defect. See this figure A, this is an example of perfect crystal or ideal crystal. No defects in this case. Now moving to B. Now you see in the figure B, here one constituent particle is missing from its lattice site. So in this case, the defect is a point defect, because in case of point defects, the defect is around an atom or around a constituent particle around a lattice site. So around an atom or around a point is called as point defect. Line defect means the defect is in the whole row. For example, in this case, the usual arrangement is that we place one layer exactly below the second layer, right? But this layer, the fourth row, is placed at the depression of its above layer. Actually, it should be exactly below, not at the depression, right? In this case, this row is where the defect is occurring, right? So this type of defect, where the defect is at the whole row, is called as line defect. Types of point defects. So in this class, we will discuss only point defects. Line defects is out of your syllabus. So we will discuss point defects only. So point defects are two types, stoichiometric defect and non-stoichiometric defect. Stoichiometric defect, it means that the stoichiometry is unchanged. It means the ratio of cation and anion, same. The ratio is unchanged. It's called stoichiometry. And non-stoichiometric defects, this ratio of cations and anions, it changes. For ionic solids, stoichiometric defect is Frankel defect and Schottky defect. And for non-ionic solids, they are vacancy defect and interstitial defect. We will learn about them one by one. What is point defect? So point defect is, so first definition, point defect is when the defect is around an atom or a constituent particle or a lattice point. And interstitial defect, this should be actually line defect, and line defect means when the defect is in the whole row. Then moving to stoichiometric defects. So as I have already told you, stoichiometry, in stoichiometric defects, the stoichiometry of the compound remains same, and stoichiometry means measure of atoms. Here stoichiometry of the compound remains same, and is also called as thermodynamic defect and intrinsic defect. Thermodynamic defect because as the temperature increases, this defect also increases. And intrinsic defect means it is its internal defect. We are not doing something from outside. जो है इसका ही है. It means intrinsic. Okay. Then for non-ionic solid, the stoichiometric defect is vacancy defect and interstitial defect. And for ionic solid, this is Schottky defect and Frankel defect. Now what is meant by actually stoichiometry? Suppose sodium chloride. We have a crystal where number of sodium atom is 14, number of chloride atom is also 14. Now this is the formula for sodium chloride, and here we will consider whatever is present in the formula is the stoichiometry. So here stoichiometry means ratio of sodium is to chloride is 1:1. In this case, in a crystal we have 14 sodium atoms and 14 chloride atoms. So here also ratio of sodium and chloride is 1:1. So stoichiometry is maintained. If defects occur but stoichiometry of the compound is not changed, this 1:1 ratio is not changed, then we can call it as stoichiometric defect. For example, suppose due to some defect, now we have 12 sodium atom and we have 12 chloride atom. Still the ratio is same, sodium is to chloride, still it is same 1:1, right? So this defect which result in number of sodium atom to be 12 and chloride is also 12. Actually in ideal arrangement the number should be 14, but now we have 12. But the stoichiometry is not changed. The ratio of sodium and chloride ion in the crystal is same 1:1 as denoted by this formula. So now we have the same ratio as the formula. So this is called as stoichiometric defect. Vacancy defect. As we all know, this vacancy defect is for non-ionic solid. Non-ionic solid means any metal. For example, we are discussing gold metal, the crystal gold metal. Then we are discussing some aluminium crystal. So in this case, we will get vacancy defect. Vacancy defect, as the name says, when some of the lattice sites are vacant. Here some of the lattice sites are vacant or empty. Then the crystal is said to have vacancy defect. Here we see, for example, here this site, lattice site and this lattice site, they are vacant or empty. As a result, this defect is called as vacancy defect. Since some of the constituent particles are missing in this case, constituent particles are missing from their lattice point or lattice site. As a result, number of particles will decrease in this case, and we can say that it results in decrease in the density of the substance. So vacancy defect results in decrease in density of the substance, or it can also be developed when a substance is heated. So if we heat a substance, then this defect may occur. Then moving to interstitial defect. So interstitial, as the interstitial site means, or in interstitial position means the position or the space between constituent particles which is usually vacant. So this is the space between constituent particles or lattice points. So these are some lattice sites, right? Constituent particles occupy this lattice site, but this portion is vacant. Usually it remains vacant, and this is called as interstitial site. So if any constituent particles occupy this interstitial position, then we get interstitial defect. So here in this case, these constituent particles occupy the interstitial space. Usually this place should have been vacant, but now we have one constituent particles at this position. As a result, density of this substance will increase. It means interstitial defect increases the density of the substance. So what are the main difference between vacancy defect and interstitial defect? One difference is that the vacancy defect, when the defect is vacancy, density decreases, but interstitial defect, density increases. Remember this point, okay? Then moving to Frankel defect. So we know that Frankel defect, it is found in case of ionic solids. So what happened? So Frankel, how did we remember what is Frankel? So the trick was two vowels. So we will get two defects. What are they? We will get both vacancy. So this is the trick I remember, since two vowels. So we have two defects. One is vacancy, another is interstitial. So vacancy defect occurs that some of the constituent particles are missing, and interstitial defect occur because the particle which is missing from its lattice site will present at the interstitial site. So it is missing from its actual position, and it occupies the interstitial site. So this kind of defect is called as Frankel defect. So it is found in case of what? Ionic solid, and it is stoichiometric defect. Why stoichiometric defect? Because the particle, if it is missing from its lattice site and if it leaves the crystal, then only it will reduce the stoichiometry. But here it is present inside the crystal. It is just missing from its position. So the crystal will be overall its stoichiometry, overall the ratio of cation and anion will be same. So it is stoichiometric defect, and since nothing was lost from the crystal, so density is also same. So density here, density is same. Density, it has no effect on density. Then electrical neutrality. Now you see, for ionic solid, any defect, it always maintains the electrical neutrality. So first condition is that that the electrical neutrality in case of ionic solids should be maintained even after the defect is occurred. So Electrical neutrality is maintained because the cation or the anion, which usually the cation occupies the interstitial site because the size of cation is small. So cation, the size of cation is small, so it usually occupies the interstitial site, but it does not leave the crystal. So electrical neutrality is also maintained. And the condition where it is found. Now see here, the cation, it occupies the interstitial site. It occupies the interstitial site. So if it occupies the interstitial site, so we can conclude that the size of the cation is very small compared to anion. Only then it can occupy the interstitial site. If it's because interstitial site is its size is very small, right? For example, in case of tetrahedral, it will be the interstitial and the ratio of interstitial void is equal to 0. If it is tetrahedral void, it is 0.225 r, 0.225 times r, right? So it is very small. Since it is very small, so the cation must be very small. It means the large difference in size between cations and anions. So the first condition is size difference between cations and anions is size difference is large. And second point is that since the cation is small, so here is the cation and we have another cation, this. Both are cations and these are anions surrounding it. It means these are the anions that is stabilized by this cation. And if the size of the anion is same, here also, the number of cations that can be stabilized by this large cation will be high, right? So let me repeat. Suppose we have two cations, one is small and one is large. So number of anions, the smaller cation will stabilize, or the number of anions that can be accumulated or that can be accumulated around this small cation will be less compared to large cation. Large cation will stabilize large number of anions. If small cation can stabilize only 4 anion, then large will stabilize 6, more than 4, right? 6, 7, 8 it can stabilize. As a result, large cation will have more coordination number and the smaller cation will have less coordination number. So what I was trying to say, so if we have small cation and we have one large cation, condition is size of anion is same. So if it can accumulate or it can stabilize 4 anions, these are anions and this is cation, then this large cation can stabilize more number of anions around it. As a result, here coordination number is low and here coordination number is high. For large cations, coordination number is high. For small cations, coordination number is low. So here we know that cations are smaller in case of Frankel defect. Why cations are smaller? Because only then cations can occupy interstitial site. If the size of the cation is large, then it cannot occupy this interstitial site. It cannot be fitted into this interstitial site. So the cation must be smaller in order to fit into this interstitial site. So size of cation is small, and since its size is small, so coordination number here is low. So the condition is two. First one, cation size is small, that is why large size difference between cation and anion. Second, coordination number is low. Okay. Then coming to Schottky defect. So Schottky defect, what was the trick to remember? Here we have only one O, only one vowel. So here we will get only one type of defect. And what is that defect? This is vacancy defect. So here only vacancy defect occurs. So this point and this lattice point, these two are vacant. So it occurs when the cation is big enough. If the cation is too big to fit into the interstitial site. So the cation is too big to fit into the interstitial site. So what happens? So the cation leaves the crystal. So suppose this is sodium, then the one sodium atom or ion will leave the crystal. Since the cation is big, so here the cation and anion size are similar. Because cation is big, anion is already big, so cation and anion both are similar in size. Then since cation is big, coordination number is also high. So in Schottky defect occurs when coordination number is high and cation and anion they are of similar size. Okay. Then what about density? Now you see some lattice points are vacant, and no extra ions in the interstitial sites, right? So density decreases in this kind of defect. And then coming to electrical neutrality, if sodium atom is missing from the if sodium atom is missing from the system, then earlier if you count them, suppose there were 14 sodium plus and 14 chloride negative, electrically neutral originally. Now one is missing, right? Now we have 13 sodium. Is it electrically neutral? No, because we have more negative ions at this side. So what we'll do? So what happens in this case? In this case, chloride ion will also be missing from the crystal. It means that equal number of cations and anions will be missing from the system. So here one sodium is missing, here chloride is missing. So electrical neutrality is maintained how? Because equal number of cation and anion are missing. Equal number of cations and anions are missing. So both cations and anions, they are missing from the system. Example, alkali metal halides and AZBr. Remember, AZBr, silver bromide is very important because in silver bromide both Schottky and Frenkel defect occurs. So remember the example silver chloride. So question may come like this. So cite one example where both Schottky and Frenkel defect both are seen or both are observed. So example would be silver bromide. Then consequence of Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. First one is electrical conductivity increases. Then density decreases in Schottky defect, and in Frenkel defect it has neither decreases nor increases, no role on density. Then lattice energy and stability. Now you see lattice energy decreases because if there are too many holes, then its stability decreases. As a result, Sometimes the crystal, if there are too many holes, then the crystal may collapse. So its effect on lattice energy instability, it decreases. Okay. Now we will see how this electrical conductivity increases. So here it will be due to movement of holes. Now we will see what are holes. Now you see this point, they are vacant, right? So these points which are vacant, they are called as holes. So holes means nothing but vacant in lattice points. So there holes means vacant lattice points. Now what is the meaning? Now we know what is current. What is current or electrical conductivity? Current means flow of electron. Flow of electron. So holes means vacant interstitial sites. Vacant lattice points. So holes means vacant lattice sites. So here this is one hole. Now current means flow of electron. We consider hole to be positive and electron is, if electron is negative, if it is moving in that direction, then we consider that something positive is moving towards the opposite direction of electron flow. So some positive charge is moving towards this direction, and this positive charge we consider it, these holes are considered to move to the opposite direction of electron flow. Now how this hole can move, right? These are the vacant space. How can they move? Actually they do not move actually. What happens? Since this is a vacant space, so the nearby cation will jump into this space. As a result, here we will have one cation and this space will be now vacant. Now the hole will be created at this position. So instead of saying that the positive ion is moving or the cation is moving, we say that the hole is moving, right? So we have positive charge here and one hole here. So suppose this is the first case, hole is here. Now what happened? This positive charge will jump to this side. Since this is vacant, it can move to a vacant space, right? Now the structure will be like this. This vacant space will be at the second position. If this is position 1, 2, if this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, then now the hole is at position number 2. Now third case, you consider that this will now jump to this side. So here now the structure will be like this, right? It means that now the hole is at 3 positions. Earlier the hole was at 1 position, then in the next moment it is in position 2, now it is in position 3. So the hole is moving in this direction. We can say that the hole is moving in this direction. Instead of saying that the cations are moving in this direction, we can say that the hole is moving in this direction. This is mainly when we say that the hole is moving, it means that actually cations are moving, but we consider that this vacant space is moving instead of saying that the cation is moving. Okay, so hole is moving in this direction and cation is moving in this direction. And also electron is moving here. Cation move because there is empty space, and if we apply electricity at some point of time, then electron will move, right? If the electron, ultimately the cation and electron, they have to combine. So as soon as we apply electricity, we are giving some energy to the system. As a result, the electron is moving and also the cation is moving. So instead of saying that this cation is moving, we say that holes are moving in this direction. So next, moving to non-stoichiometric defect, we will see non-stoichiometric defect in the next class.